the banking latest trends.
We are continuing with the same chapters that we did yesterday, that is banking trend. This is banking trends. We are doing electronic funds transfer. We have already completed RTGS, and today we are taking up NEFT, NEFT, that is National Electronic Funds Transfer. We have already covered this part yesterday. This is a form of transferring money from one bank account to another bank account digitally, right? Now, in order to transfer this amount from one bank to another bank, you require details like IFSC code, the account number, name of the person to whom you are sending the money, and also the bank name of the bank where the money is being sent. Now, in case of NEFT, settlement is done batch wise, right? Here the money is not the money is not transferred immediately. It is transferred or it is settled in hourly batches, in half-hourly batches, and this facility can be used or can be had 24/7. So we'll go to the next part of it. We'll see the features of NEFT. What are the features of NEFT? The main features of NEFT are as follows. A bank branch must be NEFT and able to become a part of the NEFT fund transfer network. So what we require here is the bank has to be connected with internet. This should be in the core banking system or core banking solution. Number two is an individual firm or company can make use of NEFT even without having a bank account by depositing cash at a NEFT-enabled bank branch. If you are sending money, you don't require a bank account to send the money through NEFT. You can visit the bank branch and can send the money even if you do not have your bank account. But there is a cap. The cap is that in case one does not have a bank account, the maximum amount that can be transferred through NEFT system is only less than 50,000. Number three, in order to receive funds through the NEFT system, an individual or firm or a company must have an account with a NEFT-enabled bank branch. That means if you want to receive money through NEFT, then you should have a bank account. Otherwise, you will not be able to receive that money. Number five, there is no minimum or maximum amount that can be transferred through NEFT when one has a bank account. There is no cap. Okay, you can transfer any amount of money that you wish to. 6, NEFT transaction take place in batches. That means it is not settled individually. It is piled up and then it is settled or processed half-hourly batches. NEFT cannot be used to receive foreign remittance. Yes, NEFT is only for transfer of money within a country. It is not for international transfer of money. Number 8, the sender of funds has to pay the following charges for NEFT. Now, what are the charges that they have to pay? For an amount up to rupees 1 lakh, rupees 5 plus service tax. For an amount above 1 lakh and up to 2 lakhs, it is 15 plus service tax. And for an amount above 2 lakhs, that is rupees 25 plus service tax. Then this is also like basically it depends from bank to bank. Some bank may not charge at all, right? So it's not necessary that it is charged every time. The receiver of funds has to pay no charges. The receiver of the money need not pay any charges. Only the sender has to pay the charges. Okay. Now here we'll see the difference between the NEFT and RTGS. Normally you get a question on this. What is the difference between NEFT and RTGS? So when you answer the question based on these differences, you always try to answer them in a tabular form, as it is shown here. There are 3 columns. On the first column, basis of distinction. That means on what points you are differentiating the two. Okay. So number 1, processing. So NEFT transactions are settled in batches. That means they are processed in batches, not individually. Whereas RTGS, they are settled individually and continuously. For RTGS, batches are not formed. These are processed individually. That means each transactions are taken separately and it is what is called settled or processed then and there, one by one, you can say. Number 2, minimum transaction value. For NEFT, there is no minimum transaction value, but for RTGS, minimum value is rupees 2 lakhs. That means RTGS can be done for the amount more than 2 lakhs. And there is no maximum cap. Number of transfer during the day, 6 times on a weekday and there times on Saturday, and 3 times on Saturday. No limit on the number of transactions during the day. So this is the difference between the two. Okay. Next is IMPS, that is immediate payment services. It is an instant payment service available for money transfer to bank account in India. It is ideal for transaction with a smaller amount. Ideal for transaction with smaller amount. So immediate payment system is done for transactions for small amount, and this immediate payment system is done only within the country. The main features of IMPS service is that it is available 24/7 including Sunday and bank holidays throughout the year, which makes it particularly helpful during emergencies. It is fast and easy fund transfer without any hassle. It uses mobile phones as a platform for the transfer process. In case of immediate money payment system, this is normally done through mobile phones. And what is the advantage? The advantage is that it is fast, it is easy, right? And it can be done 24/7. So there is no problem in transferring the money from one account to another account through this system. In this case, the settlement is done immediately. So we have ATM. These are the different technologies used by the bank, and this technology has made the life of the account holder simpler, easy, okay, because of so many advantages of using these technologies. And one of them is the automatic teller machine. It is the most popular method in India to withdraw money. The customers can enable this service to withdraw and deposit the money 24/7. It allows the customers to perform all day-to-day bank activities without interacting with any humans. Furthermore, these facilities are also used for the payment of funds, utility bill, etc. A customer with the use of his ATM card and his PIN, he can withdraw, deposit, transfer money from this machine. So ATM has given so many advantages to the people. The people need not visit the bank, right? They need not be face to face with the people while withdrawing or depositing the money. They can go to the machine, right? Use the card and the PIN number, right? And then deposit the money or withdraw the money. ATM, that is automatic teller machine, can also be used for transferring the fund from one account to another account. It can also be used for paying utilities bill like electricity bill or phone, so on. There are two kinds of cards which are normally given by the bank: credit cards and debit cards. ATM card is also known as the debit card, right? So now let's see what is a credit card. A credit card is a small plastic or metal card issued by a financial company or a bank. It allows you to make purchases by borrowing money up to an established limit. That means these credit cards are mostly used to make purchases. These are used to make payments. Okay, and how much of money you will be able to pay depends on the limit given to you. Supposing the limit is a maximum of 1,60,000, then you can make a payment up to rupees 1,60,000. Okay, then this limit again depends on the purchases that you have made. Supposing the purchases limit is 1,60,000 and you have already made a purchases of 40,000, then your next limit will come down to 1,20,000. Now, once you make the payment of this 40,000, then this limit again will be increased or restored to 1,60,000. Right? So this is what a credit card is. But here, when you make a payment, when you make purchases through the credit card, there is a condition. What is the condition? That the credit card holders pay back the borrowed money plus any applicable interest as well as any additional agreed upon charges, either in full by billing date or over time. That means this 40,000 has to be paid back to the financial institution, to the company which has given you the card, right? And this has to be paid within the due date, right? And if you don't make the payment within the due date, then you will have to pay heavy amount of interest. There is a huge amount of interest charged on the failure of making payment of this amount, this purchased amount or amount paid within that due time. Next we have debit cards. Debit cards are issued by your bank and work as an ATM card and also a payment card. It is linked directly to your bank account and uses the money you have on deposit in the bank to pay for your purchases or make your ATM withdrawal digitally. So debit cards are issued against the account that you have with the bank. That means in order to have a debit card, you need to have an account with the bank. It can be a saving account or it can be a current account. If you do not have bank account with the banks, you will not get debit cards, right? So, but for credit card, you don't need to have any kind of accounts with the bank, right? Credit cards are given to the people who do not have bank account. Debit cards are mostly used for withdrawing and depositing money. This is the primary purpose of debit card. Withdraw the money or deposit the money. And yes, to make the cash payment when purchases are made. Cash payment means make a payment immediately. You make the purchases, you make the payment immediately. Is it clear? So that means if you make a payment through debit card, that means your amount will get deducted from your bank account immediately. So this is about the debit card. Now what is CBS? Core Banking Solution. Under this system, a customer becomes customer of the bank rather than customer of a branch. So core banking solution, that is, it is a system where the banks are interlinked. The branches of the banks are interlinked. If you open an account with a branch of one of the banks, okay, then you are the customer of that particular bank as a whole. Under this system, a customer becomes customer of the bank rather than the customer of a branch. That means if you have opened an account with one of the branches of the bank, means you are the customer of that particular branch as well as the customer of the bank. You are the customer of the branch A, right? But you are automatically the customer of the bank SBI. That means if you go to another city B, you can do all the transactions related to your bank even in the city B, which is far away from your original city A. Okay, that means here you can go to the SBI branch of that particular city, and if you want to withdraw money, you can withdraw the money from there also. You can carry on all the transactions even in the city B, because now you are, because of this facility, you are the customer of not only of SBI branch A, you are also the customer of SBI branch B. You can operate your bank account in all the CBS enabled branches of the same bank anywhere across the country. You are the customer of one branch of a particular place A, then you can operate this account even in other part of the countries from the same bank. Branches can be different, but you are associated with the same bank. Then next is mobile banking. What is the meaning of mobile banking? It means doing banking transaction through mobile phones. Through mobile phones. Now most of us use mobile phone for everything. We use mobile phone even for banking transaction, right? Sending money to different person, sending money to different accounts, right? Balance inquiry, to pay the utility bills and so on, right? So that is called mobile banking. So it means doing banking transaction through mobile phones. It can be done through SMS browsing method or apps. It is usually used for balance inquiry, fund transfer or bill payments, etc. Bank draft is also called demand draft. What is it? It is a type of check. It is also considered as a check drawn by a bank on its own branch or on another bank bank. So in case of checks, what happens? We account holder draw a check on our bank. That is the thing, isn't it? But if it is a demand draft or bank draft, why this demand draft or bank draft is also considered as a check? But in this case, one bank is drawing the check on another bank or on the another branch. That means bank to bank. So it is drawing of check from one bank on another bank. So this is bank to bank check will be termed as demand draft or bank draft. Now this being a bank draft or demand draft is made in order to make payment to someone else. So there is a third party involved to whom the payment will be made. Third party to whom the payment will be made. It is payable to the person named in it or to his order. It is always payable on demand. Now since bank draft is always payable on demand, that is why it is also known as demand draft. Payable on demand means as you go to the bank and present that bank draft, the bank has to make the payment to you. That is called paying on demand. It is the most convenient and safe means of sending money from one place to another, and there is no risk of dishonor. Two advantages here. It is the most convenient way of sending money. It is the safer means of sending money, and there is no risk of dishonor. There is no risk of dishonor. This is very important. No risk of dishonor is the very important point of bank draft. Why there is no risk of dishonor? Because the bank will give you bank draft only when you have made the payment beforehand. Supposing you want a bank draft of ₹50,000, then what you have to do is, first of all, deposit this money to the bank. Deposit this money to the bank. Then after you have deposited the money to the bank will make and give you demand draft, DD. After you have deposited the money, 50,000 plus some commission plus some charges, the bank will make and give you the demand draft, which will be sent to the person whom you intend to make the payment. That is why there is no question of dishonor, because the money is already deposited with the bank. So as and when the demand draft is presented to the bank will make the payment. Yes? Okay. Now we will see the SMS alert facility. You will get questions on this. Most of the times you get questions